What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Magic Game Center. I'm Magic Official, and I have a question for all of you guys. How do you take over 3 decades worth of characters that are iconic and that are mascots and put them all into one game and make that game fun? You put them all in a box and make them beat the crap out of each other. This is Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Wii U, and it is really awesome. I know I'm late to this review, but I've wanted to have some time to experience the game. I didn't want to rush out the review. I wanted to enjoy almost all the game modes and try to get as much out of it. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. Some of you may remember that a few weeks ago I recorded a review for Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS. And I was very critical in that review of the game. I said it's because I love this series with a passion. And that's true. And I was very critical, I'll admit. I nitpicked it about stuff like the stage selection wasn't very good. Most of the returning stages weren't even the good ones. There wasn't much music. The controls were terrible. The online was broken. And the character balance was off, and a lot of things I said negatively, even though I still gave it an 8 out of 10. Well, now I've been playing Smash Wii U for the past few weeks, and I can say that almost all those complaints are gone. Almost. Now, this game isn't a perfect game, but it's really great, and almost every question that I said, please fix this, has been fixed in this game. It's like the 3DS version was just the test run, and it was like a free sample or something, and then they're like, okay, no, the Wii U one, that's the real deal. So let's talk about the Wii U version. First off, the obvious is graphics. Oh my goodness, it looks amazing. The textures are really sharp and crisp. The detail in the characters and the lighting, in the particle effects that happen. Yeah, particle effects, I know, right? Mostly when items turn on, but yeah, there's particle effects. And just all kinds of stuff going on. You can see everything in the background, like really sharp and crisp, and every pixel has love in it. You can tell. This game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games on the Wii U. The only game I can think of that probably looks better in terms of textures and stuff is probably Mario Kart 8, and that game looks amazing. This is probably the second best looking game on the Wii U. And this runs at the smooth 60 frames per second at 1080p. It does not drop any frames at all, even when there's tons of items flying around and people are going nuts in 8-player Smash. Yes, 8-player Smash, I'll get to that. It's just really gorgeous to look at. I've been playing Melee and Project M for years, and every time I see this, I'm still blown away. Like, oh my god, we've come so far. Now, I've passed the graphics, let's get into the game modes. This game has given you so many game modes, it's definitely gonna last years. There are home run bat challenges, so the home run contest is back. Target blast is back. That's still the Angry Birds clone though. Multi-man smash with the 100-man melee. Cruel Smash is messed up, by the way. That's so hard. I don't care how good you are at Smash. Cruel Smash is hard. Level 9 CPUs with like 4 times knockback, and they're all team battling against you, and there's like 8 of them. It is hard. Classic is back. It's also different than the 3DS version. It's more like you choose, instead of choosing the path you want to go on, like how it was on the 3DS, now you choose who to fight and when to fight them. And the cool thing is they indicate that you have a rival every time you start a new classic game mode. But the thing is, if you battle the rival right away, you get rewards. But if you wait and battle other characters, and then battle your rival later, you get even more rewards, which is really cool. The higher the difficulty, the cooler it is also, because if you fight at high enough difficulties and you complete classic mode, then Master Hand and Crazy Hand come out. And if you do it within a time limit and at certain difficulties, then the Master Core shows up, and that's really awesome. It looks like some really black screwed up thingies, and it looks like a bunch of dust is just coming together and beating the crap out of you. But if you beat Master Core, then you unlock the Master Fortress. Now this only happens, I think, on like intensity 9 or 8 higher, I don't know. but I did it on Nintendo 39 just to be sure, and oh my goodness, you will die a lot. I mean, this is the hardest game mode I've ever played in any Smash game. It is hard, and it is totally worth it and fun, but you will get frustrated and die a lot. All-Star mode is also back. All-Star mode is the opposite of what it was on the 3DS. On the 3DS, you fought everyone in chronological order based on when they came out. So like first you would fight Mario and Donkey Kong in the classics, and then later at the very end you would fight like Greninja and the newer people. In this one, it's the opposite. So you're fighting like Greninja and newer people first, going in reverse chronological order, and at the very end are the classics. So they're at the very last people that you fight are gonna be Donkey Kong, Mario, Little Mac, people like them. Now, what's best about all these game modes is that now you can play them in local multiplayer, local co-op with a friend. That is really sweet, because All-Star and Classic are so much more fun with a friend than by yourself. Now, you can't play it in up to 4 players or anything, just 2 players, but it's really cool. Home Run contest, my brother and I came up with a little system to get really good at home run contests. Now, I've seen some people with world records and they're just insane, but my brother's tactic with me works pretty well with Ganondorf. I'm showing it right now. If you want to see the whole thing, just link in the description below, because it takes a little while. I'm not going to show the whole thing here. Another game mode that they give you is Smash Tour. Smash Run was in the Nintendo 3DS, and I said it's kind of forgettable, which it is, but Smash Tour is less forgettable in my opinion. Now, a lot of reviewers and people are saying that Smash Tour is easily to put it away. You're probably never going to play it. It's forgettable. It makes no sense, things like that. Me, I think it's really fun, because it's Mario Party basically, but in Smash Bros. Now, the reason why I think it's so fun is because it adds balance even though it takes balance away. Let me explain. So it adds balance because, say for example, you're playing with a friend who's really good at Smash Brothers. Like, he'll wipe the floor with you any day. You're not gonna have much fun if you lose every single fight. That's not fun. However, this, by throwing in different items, by throwing in different buffs, you can get stat boosts, you get tons of fighters, and because it's a board game, most of it is random. So therefore, they're on kind of a level playing field with you. So even if they're really good at Smash Bros, they can get bad, I guess, deals in Smash Tour. They could get low stat boosts, they could not get fighters, they could be in really bad positions, giving you an advantage even if you're weaker than someone who you're playing as, or against. However, this is also unbalanced because obviously it's random, and say for example that friend who's really good happens to get good shuffles and he gets a ton of fighters, then he's completely broken. But I think it's really fun. It switches up the fighting and it's more random and spontaneous, and I think that's really cool. It is frustrating if you're a really good Smash player and you come in last, but that's the whole point of a board game, right? To level the playing field and have some fun. So hey, I think Smash Tour is pretty cool. Other game modes, I'm gonna barely briefly touch on these because I'm going on for so long about game modes. There's just so many in this game. There's event matches, so you complete different events, but however, if you complete an event, you'll unlock different stages and stuff like that. Yet if you don't do certain challenges, you won't get certain rewards, and those challenges on those events are hard. They're really hard to do. I had to, like, one of them requires you to fight Bowser and Donkey Kong and knock them out. That's really easy. But the challenge to get high rewards is that you can't get even 1% on your character. You can't get hurt at all, and that's harder. So there's all kinds of different little challenges in each of these events, which really switches it up. And also there's another page full of challenges that you can unlock Pokemon and different assist trophies and music and things like that by doing them. And oh my god, some of those are crazy. Some of them ask you to survive Cruel Smash for a minute, which that's like almost impossible. If it wasn't for Game Explain, I wouldn't know how. And just so much stuff to do. It's insane. This game knows that another Smash Bros. Game isn't coming out for a few years, and therefore it gave you enough game modes to last you those few years. It's going to take you years to get all those trophies, get all those music, get all the stuff. Because if you really are a person who needs to collect absolutely everything, this is going to take you a long time. Now let's talk about the gameplay. I'm not gonna go very much in depth into this because it's literally copy and paste the 3DS gameplay. If you want to learn about the gameplay, go to my Smash Bros 3DS review. So the gameplay is exactly the same as on the 3DS. All the players play the same way. Every character has the exact same moves. You can customize the moves just like how you can in the Nintendo 3DS version. You can transfer those customized characters from the 3DS to the Wii U. And the tier system is still, well, the same as it is in the 3DS. Some characters are super buffed, like Bowser and Yoshi. Some are really nerfed, like Marth. However, in a recent update, there have been a little bit more balance issues addressed. However, there is still a little, it's not so great still anyways, because what they did is basically they nerfed Rosalina, which is good because Rosalina needed to get nerfed, but they buffed up Ike and they nerfed a couple other characters, they buffed a couple others, and now Ike is broken and a few other characters are broken. It's just sometimes the updates to address balancing to make it more balanced make it more unbalanced, and I don't know, the balancing still throws me off and it'll probably throw competitive people off. And everything's about the same with the competitive gameplay as the 3DS. The percentage system still works through intervals and things like that, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Just check out my 3DS review if you want to see about gameplay. Of course, one of the most important things in any video game is controls, and fortunately, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U gives something that I absolutely love. Options. Tons and tons of different options. So if you look at the back of the box, here it shows all the different possible options that you have for controls. But I'm not gonna show you the back of the box for too long. I'm not gonna explain all that. I'll rather just show you so you can see just exactly how many choices Nintendo gave. So first off, there's the Wii U gamepad. You can play with the gamepad. It's a pretty good controller. It's really comfortable. It's got the thumb rest on the back. The only problem is going from ZL and ZR to L and to R. It's quite a large gap. So for Smash, that's probably not a very good thing. But it works definitely as a controller. The touchscreen has not really any functionality when you're playing the game in a Smash. But hey, it's pretty good. I'm not used to the joysticks being up here instead of down here, but you could get used to that eventually. Another option that Nintendo provides is the Wii U Pro Controller. This is another option that you can do. This is more akin to like an Xbox 360 controller. If you like the Xbox 360 controller, this is the way to go. Again, both the joysticks are on the top. They're more akin to the nunchuck joysticks, and it's easy to get used to. It's pretty comfortable. Now, another option that they give you is to play with the Wii Remote. Some people like playing with the Wii Remote sideways. I personally don't like it, but you know, to each their own. You could also play with the Wii Remote and nunchuck plugged into the Wii Remote. That's a pretty cool choice that they allow you to do that, just like in Brawl. Also, you can use a classic controller, plug it into the bottom if you want a wireless style controller. If you want a wireless controller and don't want to shell out all the money for a Wii U Pro controller, and you have a Wii Remote, you just buy one of these. These are like $15. You plug it into the bottom of the Wii Remote, and you get a wireless full-fledged controller. It also works with the Classic Controller Pro, and the buttons are pretty much exact same functionality as the Classic Controller. It plugs in the same way right there on the bottom. Another option that it gives you is the Nintendo 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS XL, or the Nintendo 2DS. You can use any of those as controllers for Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. All you need is a copy of Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS for each DS system, and then you can connect them to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and use them as controllers. I personally don't really like using either of these as controllers. They're not very good methods of control. Like I said in the Super Smash Bros. For 3DS review, the circle pad is not very good for Smash, and it was not designed for Smash. So it's probably not the best choice to use. Even if you have Smash for 3DS, you'll probably want to use a dedicated controller. Now, what most people really love about this is this. Nintendo released this peripheral. It allows you to plug in using two USB ports plugged into the Wii U. It allows you to connect GameCube controllers to the Wii U. So if you have GameCube controllers, you can use them and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, which is really awesome. Everyone's so glad that they brought that back. I am really happy. That's been my favorite method of control, and they even made a new GameCube controller. You probably saw it in the background. This bad boy. Oh yeah. A Super Smash Bros. GameCube controller. Dedicated, and it's an official Nintendo GameCube controller. You can use it on an old GameCube and play Wind Waker or something. It's really cool. It's really nice. When I first used it, I was so confused because I've never played with the GameCube controller that didn't have like 10 years of life put into it, so the joystick being new was so weird to me. However, if you like the GameCube controller but don't like cables, because this does have to be plugged in completely cables, this does work with a Wavebird wireless adapter. You could just plug that in there and it'll work with the Wavebird, but Wavebirds are really expensive. Here's another option that I found that I've actually really liked. This controller is the Hori Battle Pad Pro. I think that's what it's called. Battle Pad, something like that. It comes in Mario and Luigi colors. There's gonna be a Pikachu, Peach, Yoshi colors. They're all really cool, and it has the exact same dimensions as the GameCube controller. The buttons do feel a little bit cheaper, but it is actually cheaper than the official GameCube controller. This is 25 bucks and doesn't need an adapter. It needs a Wii remote. This is $30 and you have to buy the adapter, which is another 20. But this plugs in just like a normal classic controller into the bottom of a Wii remote. So you can sit wherever you want in the room. Doesn't matter if you don't have to worry about tangling up the wires on the adapter or tripping over them, because this plugs into the Wii remote. It doesn't plug into the console itself. Therefore, you can have a wireless GameCube control on the cheap. That's pretty cool. So yeah, so all these controller options, and the main reason for this is because you can have up to 8 players, and you can have as many configurations as you want. So if you want 8 GameCube controllers, you could get 2 of these adapters, plug them into each side of your Wii U, and play with up to 8 controllers, 8 GameCube controls. You could play up to 8 Wii remotes to get, actually up to 7 Wii remotes, I think. You can connect up to 7 to the console, and you can have 7 classic controllers, 7 Wii remotes, 7 of these Battle Pad controllers. You could have up to 7 of these Wii U Pro controllers, and you can only have 1 gamepad, but you could have 8 3DSs connected and use them all as different controllers. It's really cool. So yeah, let's get back to the review because I'm talking way too long about the control options, but just know the control options for this game is awesome, and the wireless controllers like the Wii Remote have pretty much no latency. Now, if you do play competitively, then you'll notice maybe like 1 or 2 frames lag, but hey, there's 60 frames in 1 second. That's nothing. It'll only matter if you play competitive, but for a casual player, any of these controllers will be perfectly fine and perfectly responsive with 0 lag, 0 latency issues. It'll be perfect. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the review. Another thing we need to talk about is the music. Now, in my 3DS review, I said that Super Smash Bros. Brawl had a really awesome soundtrack, and that the 3DS version was an awesome soundtrack, but only because it was copy and paste the Brawl soundtrack. It had almost no new songs. Those new songs were good, but there weren't very many of them. I wanted more. I got more. Alright, the Wii U version is packed to the brim with amazing music. Both the original versions of classic songs, remixes of classic songs, orchestrated versions of classic songs, completely new songs from newer games, orchestrated versions of newer songs from newer games, remixes of newer songs from newer games, and so much music. There are over 400 tracks in this game. 400 songs, and you can unlock them through different game modes by playing Smash Tour, by playing All-Star, and I'm constantly seeing like little music CDs pop up and Smash, and I'm like, you collected a new song, would you like to listen? And most of the time I'm like, yes, and they're good. They're really good. The music in this game is awesome. It blows Brawl's soundtrack out of the water. That was one of my complaints with the 3DS. It is completely addressed here. I am not disappointed at all with the music. If I am, it's only because the menu remix 2 of Melee isn't an option for the menu screen in this game, but that's literally it. Other than that, it is just awesome. Oh, and Final Destination from Melee's, for some reason you can't pick that as music for Final Destination. But you know what? I've gotten so much music in this game that I'm just so happy. Those aren't even complaints at this point. What's really cool is that you can go through each stage and choose what music you want to play how often. So there's some songs that maybe you don't like the default song that always plays on a stage. You can turn that completely off and make another one appear like all the time. And it's really cool that you can choose what music comes out when, depending on what music you like, things like that. It's really, really awesome. And the music, oh my god. If they release soundtracks for this, I'm getting it. And yes, there are some actually on Club Nintendo, but like if there's a full soundtrack, I gotta buy that because that is just awesome. The music in this game is amazing. Next, we're gonna move on to multiplayer. You can play multiplayer in several different game modes. There's Special Smash is back. But now, the thing that most people are talking about is 8-player Smash. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You play 8 players, and it's just complete chaos. There's almost never anything you can understand, especially on the smaller stages. Some stages are actually allowing you to play 8-player Smash on them, and I'm like, why? Why that stage? Because some stages are cut off completely. You can't play them in 8-player Smash. Some you can. Some it fits perfectly, like Mario Galaxy or Hyrule Temple. But some other stages seem a little bit too big, like the Great Cave Offensive. Even for 8 players, that stage seems too big. Or Palutena's Temple, that stage is just enormous. I don't even know why it's that big. But in 8 players, if you have items on, it's going to be complete chaos. And even if you don't have items on, it's still complete chaos in smaller stages. So like Congo Jungle with 8 players is almost unplayable. You don't know what you're doing. You're just flying around all over the place the whole time, even if you're good. The only way it's kind of bearable is if you play a bigger stage like Hyrule Temple and everyone is in like different corners. So like you'll have a 1v1 fight on the left of 4 players all brawling out in the middle and like a 1v1 fight somewhere else on the right. Other than that, it's fun, but it's definitely not something you're going to want to do very often. You're just going to want to play with 4 players or maybe 5 for the most part, because 8 players is almost unbearable. It's just so much happening at once. It's fun, but it's definitely not a reason to buy this game just for that, because it's not really very bearable. Normal multiplayer though is really awesome. It's just as good as it's always been, and the customizations are all here. So you can change your item switch, you can change the duration, the amount of stocks, how much the knockback is, how much your damage is, all kinds of different things. And now item switch has frequency, which was missing in the 3DS version. I'm happy that that's back. Online play though is a little bit basically the exact same thing as the Nintendo 3DS. Better, but still bad. So the connectivity issues that I mentioned in the Nintendo 3DS are still here. They're not as bad. This doesn't lag as bad as playing Smash Online on 3DS, but the lag is still pretty game-breaking most of the time. It's not very fun to play a fighting game that demands precision, and it's lagging. I don't know why Nintendo servers aren't handling this the way they should be. I have a fast broadband connection, and if someone else has a really slow one, it's unplayable at all. And if someone else has a fast one, okay, sometimes it'll be buttery smooth, sometimes it'll still stutter. It's just, sometimes it feels completely random. Even if you have high internet connections, there'll just be random lag that doesn't seem like it should be there. I mean, I've played other fighting games online, Tekken Cross Street Fighter on PS3, and I play that, Injustice Online. Those don't lag at all. But Smash Bros lags, which is unfortunate because I love Smash Bros. I'd love to play it online, but it lags. Another problem, of course, the same as the 3DS, you're locked into the modes unless you're playing with friends. There's no customization whatsoever. So if you're in 4 glory mode, you can't change it to 5 stocks or 4 stocks, 8 minutes or anything like that. And if you're in 4 fun, there's no item switch. So if you hate certain items, you can't switch them. Kind of unfortunate. Also, another thing that this should have gone into gameplay, but now that I'm talking about item switch, it would be cool if there was trophy switch and like Pokeball switch, because there's some Pokemon and some assist trophies that nobody likes. There's this big black thing that makes the whole screen black, the Nintendog, Blue Devil, and Palkia. I mean, seriously, Even the people that throw the Pokeballs or release those assist trophies hate those, and it would be really awesome if we could choose to turn those particular Pokemon and assist trophies off. But we can't. We're stuck into this. Oh well. I guess that's the way Nintendo made it. Now there's also a new mode called Master Orders and Crazy Orders, where you take orders from Master Hand and Crazy Hand at varying difficulties, and the higher the difficulty, the better your prizes. And you also have to pay to get into them. So Crazy Orders has you like paying insanely high things, and you even have to have a pass just to get in, or pay a ridiculously high price. And then if you lose all your possible rewards. So it's really hard, but it's really fun. It's tons of fun to do. There's also a stage builder in this game, just like there was in Brawl. But this one has so much more potential than Brawl's does, but at the same time doesn't live up to that potential. The biggest really cool factor about this stage builder is that you can use the Wii U gamepad to freehand draw stages and make the platforms look like whatever you like. You can even change them to make them grabbable or not. It's really cool. You can make whatever shape you want. If you want to make a logo, you can do it. If you want to make your name, if you want to make a bat symbol like I did, it's really awesome. The problem is that it's very limited in terms of what you can do besides drawing. So you can draw anything, but there's not much you can do. You can add in lava, and you can add cannons and springs, and that's about it. Smash Bros. Brawl, on the other hand, its stage builder, sure, it left a lot to be desired, but it had spikes, it had falling platforms, it had better moving platforms than this one does, even though this one you can change the trajectory of the movement of the platforms. But it had so many other things, and it had decorations and things that you could stand on and all kinds of cool stuff. This one doesn't have any of it. The biggest draw is that you can draw things but not do much with your drawing, so that's kind of unfortunate. But hopefully someday through DLC they manage to bring in some more stuff and some more items that you could put around. Smash Bros. Wii U also introduces new toys that you can play, kind of like Skylanders. They're called amiibos. You buy them, they're not very expensive, and they're like collectible figures. They look really cool on your nightstand and things like that if you're a video game collector, but they're not just toys. You put them into the game, and they train alongside you. So if you're training your amiibo, they learn to fight like how you fight, and they learn how to counter against your moveset. They learn your tips, your tricks, and they learn how to fight against them. It's really cool. They level up, and they learn the more they fight you. And eventually, if you're a good smasher and you keep fighting your amiibo over and over, and by the time they're level 50, they're going to be monsters. Now, my brother and I found a little trick to training your amiibo to be absolute destroyers. This works well if you're a good Smash player though. If you're not, then get a friend to train him for you, but this is what you do. So you get your amiibo, and you put them in a match for 60 minutes. 60 minutes, not stocks, minutes, time. A time match for 60 minutes, put them against 7 computers in 8-player Smash, 7 level 9 computers, but not just free-for-all, no items, and make them fight in a team battle. And all 7 level 9 computers in a team against that one amiibo. And make them all the same player as the amiibo. So if you have a Mario, make him fight 7 Marios. If you have a Yoshi, make him fight 7 Yoshis. Like that. And do that for an hour. Your amiibo will get absolutely destroyed, but he'll level up a lot. After the 60 minutes, spend the rest of the time in one-on-one, maybe 4 players, and different mixed battles. Mainly use characters that you got those. So like if you got a Mario, make sure you mainly use Mario against them and things like that, so he learns how to use Mario correctly. And after he's done the 60 minutes, train him like one-on-one yourself, but make sure it's somebody that's good. And man, that little amiibo will learn how to counter 7 level 9 computers simultaneously, and he will be a monster. And the amiibos are so much fun. I have 2 of them, my brother has 2. The original set comes out with 12, and there's going to be a ton more. Nintendo announced that they're going to have at least an amiibo for every character in Smash, and they work in other games. So like Hyrule Warriors, you can scan an amiibo on them, and you'll unlock different weapons, you'll unlock different costumes, stuff like that. Mario Kart 8, you unlock different skins. So the amiibos don't just work with Smash Bros, they work with other games. So it's cool having like a toy that comes back to life that fights alongside you. That's really cool. You could do team battles. I like to do a team battle between me and my brother, and I'll be me and my amiibo versus him and his amiibo, or like we'll have the amiibos fight each other, or the amiibos fight ourselves. And my amiibo, I can't beat him with people that I'm not very good at anymore. Before I could, now I can't. Now I can only consistently beat him with people I'm good with, and sometimes even then he'll beat me. That little guy got hard, and he's much better than any level 9 CPU I've ever fought. So I'd say amiibos are worth it, and they're a really cool addition to the new Super Smash Bros. For Wii U game. And the new 3DS is gonna have amiibo support, so that's pretty cool too. Well, I could go on and on and on about this game. There is so much to talk about. From everything I covered, the game modes, the music, the presentation, the graphics, the multiplayer. It's just amazing how much they packed into this game, how awesome it is, how much content there is. I've owned this game for quite a little while now, and I've played a lot of it, and I'm still finding new stuff. Usually if I've beaten the game by now, I wouldn't be finding new stuff. I would have put it down, but I'm still finding new things that are just popping out. It's just really cool. You're never gonna run out of things to do with this game. Pick it up. It's one of the best party games ever, and Mewtwo's coming. Mewtwo is coming. You guys should have seen my reaction when I heard that Mewtwo was coming. I was like, oh my god, and I was basically jumping around and throwing stuff, and my mom got mad at me for breaking something. But Mewtwo's coming. That's all I can say. So, Smash Wii U, what do I rate it? Well, it's not a perfect game. It's still, the gameplay is still the 3DS, there's still the online issues, but it's so packed with content. Future content is coming. There's so much to do, there's so much fun to be had, and you know what? This has become, dare I say it, my favorite Smash Bros. Game above Melee. That's right, yes, I said above Melee, and I always swore by Melee. Now, it's my favorite official Smash Bros. Game. My favorite Smash Bros. Game in general is Project M, but that's not official. My favorite official Smash Bros. Game has now become Smash Bros. Wii U. It is awesome. It is totally a reason to buy a Wii U. I mean, if you don't have a Wii U, why are you watching this review? Why aren't you buying a Wii U? Buy a Wii U and play some Smash Bros. Give me your friend code so we could play together, and then I could win. Alright, so I'm giving this game a 9.5 out of 10. It is amazing. It is awesome. Pick it up. Go play it. Anyways, I'm out. Peace. This review's so long. Don't forget to subscribe and favorite this video. Share it. I'm even running out of words. I'm running out of words. I'm too hype. I'm gonna go play some Smash. Peace.